Hello everyone. I once again welcome you all to the Learning Table series for the month of November. So before we start the session, I will keep my camera off so that you will have better visualization about the presentation. So I'm just keeping my cam off. I hope the screen is visible and the voice is loud and clear. So for all the new participants, let me say what Learning Table series is all about. So Learning Table series is a month-on-month free webinar that we conduct on every first Thursday of the month, where we will pick an industry and we'll identify few scenarios that can be automated on the top of Creator as a solution. On that note, we have picked the technology industry for this month. Before we kickstart with the session, let me introduce myself. This is me, Deepika Prabhakaran from the Zoho Creator training team. I would like to outline few housekeeping rules before we start with the session. All the attendees will be on mute throughout the session. If you have any questions that populate in your mind during the session or post the session, please access the question tab and post all your questions so that none of your questions will be missed and all of your questions will be answered by the co-trainers. If you find any interruption in between the session or if you want to rewatch the entire session, do not worry. A recording of this session will be sent to all the registrants. And if you want to rewatch the recordings of the previous months, then a course link will be shared in the chat by the co-trainer. You can access the course link where you can register yourself and watch the recordings of the previous sessions. I would request you all to keep the session interactive by taking part in the polls and the surveys. So now let's take a look at the agenda so that we'll get to understand what do we have in store for this particular session. We'll start off with the introduction to Zoho Creator, followed by a quick introduction about the industry that we have picked for this month, which is the technology industry. What are the different automations that we have in the employee and the asset management? Then we will have an application process flow. We'll have a quick overview of the application process flow, then the features that we have used in this application building. Post that, we'll have a live demonstration of the app that we have built for the technology industry, followed by the extended use cases that how the application fits in. Then the session will be wrapped by the key pointers. Now let's start with the introduction to the Zoho Creator. So for all the new participants, if you're new to Zoho Creator, let me outline what Zoho Creator is. So Zoho Creator is a low-code platform that helps you in application building. Beyond application building, this is a unified platform that combines app development where you'll be able to create custom applications. And if you want to build insightful and intuitive dashboards, then we have BI and analytics. Or if you want to bring integrations within your app, seamless integrations are possible with 600 plus ready to connect applications. So all these features are available in one single platform, that is Zoho Creator C6 version. Zoho Creator in turn helps you in building custom solutions for enhanced productivity. Now towards the right hand side, you'll be able to see an image where this showcases that how Zoho Creator fits in different industries. We know Zoho Creator is a low-code platform, but there is no compromise in fitting into different industries. It can help any industry to transform the ideas into applications. So this is a quick outline about the Zoho Creator. Now let's understand what are the application categories. So what is this application categories? Any application that you build on the top of Creator will fit in the four categories that I'm going to explain right now. So the first category is the internal tool. Any application that you build, if they are used within the organization, then they fall under internal tool. For example, approval applications, tracking applications, employee management, etc. The next category is portal based. So if you're building applications that are enabled secured and organized interactions between an organization and the external stakeholders, such as the customers, vendors, partners, etc. So those applications will come under portal based. For example, we have the customer portal, candidate portal, vendor portal, etc. The third category is core system. So if we build any application that helps to run end-to-end business operations, and also if those applications serves as the backbone of any organization, then that comes under core system. For example, we have supply chain management, fleet management, etc. So the final category is extended Zoho or third-party application. Zoho Creator can be integrated with any Zoho suite of products such as Zoho People, Zoho Books, Zoho Desk, etc. or the third-party applications in order to push and pull data. So these application comes under extended Zoho or third-party applications. So these are the four categories where your application falls in. So any applications that you build on the top of Creator can fall in one or more than one category. Now, let's take a look at the technology industry's introduction. Any company that create and deliver tech products and services falls under technology industry. These companies are at the forefront of driving innovation and digital transformation. So we have highlighted few technology industries over here, which is hardware, software, telecommunications, AI, cybersecurity, biotechnology, etc. Now, let's understand what are the different major process automations that we can do in employee and asset management. So the first process that we are going to automate is the inventory management. As we are working on this is technology industry, we have to have an wholesome inventory so that we can manage the inward and the outward product. So this automation in inventory management will help us tracking, managing, and all the company's stock of goods. The next process automation is the procurement management, in which we'll be able to manage acquiring goods, services, or works from the external suppliers. The third one comes lifecycle management. So this includes planning, maintenance, also the disposal of assets. So when we are working on the inventory, we will raise the procurement. And also when we are raising the procurement, we should be able to manage the vendors as well. So next comes the vendor management, where in the vendor management automations, we'll be able to establish and maintain relationship with the suppliers. Then comes the incident management. Once the employee receives the asset, if at all they face any issues in future, then they will raise the issue, which comes under the incidents. So how this incident management automations help? This will help in identifying, analyzing, and responding to the incidents raised. Then comes the compliance management. In compliance management automation, we'll be able to adhere to legal standards, regulations, and the internal policies of the organization. So these are the major process automations that we can do inside employee and asset management. We have picked few of these automations and we have built an application on the top of Creator for the technology industry. Before we look into that application, let's understand the application's process flow. So when we are building an application in Zoho Creator, we have to go through few processes. So the first step in that is analyzing the requirement. So analyzing requirements says, why are we building this application? What is the need in order to build the application and what are the processes or what are the pain points that this is going to automate? Once the requirements have been analyzed, then we'll move on to structuring the application. Inside structuring, we will decide how many forms are we going to build and what are the data relationships that we are going to build. Post that, we will also understand what are the different reports are we going to generate, and this follows for the dashboard as well. Next, we will also come to a conclusion how many blueprints, how many workflows are we going to write. Once the application has been structured, then we'll start building the application. So once the application building is done, and then if you are okay with the application and testing is also done, then we'll move to deploying the application. So in deployment, once you have published the application, and now if you want to make any changes, make any updates in your application, but you do not want to affect the user's end, then on that note, we can move this application into the environments. Inside the environments, you can edit your application, make changes in your application without affecting the user's end. So the user will be able to see the changes made by you only when the application is in the production, which is in the live mode. Now, the last step is managing the application. In managing, you'll be able to add portal users, etc. for your application. So these are the different steps that are involved in the application development lifecycle. Now, let's take a look at the application that we have built. So, which is the TechTrack application. So, the name of the application is TechTrack, which falls under the core system. As this application is going to serve as a backbone of the organization. So, what are the automations that we have brought inside the TechTrack application? We have an asset inventory which will take care of the inward and the outward products. So, this is a full wholesome inventory where you'll be able to handle both hardware and the software assets. Then, as we are having an inventory, we will also have asset lifecycle. So asset lifecycle basically includes right from raising the assets to the disposal. However, we are covering raising the request and till the utilization. The third is the asset incidents. So as we are dealing with the assets, we are also requesting the employees, or we are also allowing the employees to raise the issue that they are facing with the assets that they have acquired. We will be also managing the employee details within this application, and with the help of the employee details we can track the assets. Also, with the help of the employee details we have this project management as well. So based on the projects that are assigned to the employee, they can raise the assets that are required in order to complete that respective project. For example, if they have been assigned with any new project that needs a mobile, so they can raise a request for the mobile in order to make some testing. Or if they need any software, they can raise a request for the software asset. So these are the different automations that we have inside the TechTrack application. Let's understand how are we doing this employee management, project management, and incident management separately. So first, we'll start off with the employee management. We are bringing in the data redundancy concept, where we are not re-entering the data about the employees in Zoho Creator. Rather, once the organization's HR have updated the details inside Zoho People, then we will fetch the data from the Zoho People and we will manage the data inside Zoho Creator. So how this is happening? With the help of integration flow. So integration flow will help Zoho People to communicate with Zoho Creator. So once the communication is done, the details of the employees will be fetched and we will be able to manage the details inside Zoho Creator. Now let's take a look at the stakeholders of this employee management. So we have the HR team who will take care of adding the employee details inside the Zoho People. Next comes the asset request management. So how are the asset requests is being managed inside the TechTrack? So once the employees have been added to the organization and they've been provided or they've been assigned to any projects. So based on the projects, they can raise the assets. So we have an asset inventory that includes both hardware and the software. Based on the requirement, the asset request will be raised. And once the asset request is raised, the request will either be approved or it will be rejected. If it is approved, then the asset will be issued to the respective employee, or if it is denied, then we will notify the employee. However, we'll notify the employee on both the cases. If at all the request is approved, then we'll notify the employee on the same. And if the approval is denied, then we will also notify the employee about the denial. Now, let's take a look at the stakeholders. So the asset inventory, of course, it will be taken care by the asset team, and the asset request will be made by the employee. The approval and the denial part will be taken care by the manager, and issuing the assets will be taken care by the asset team. So these are the stakeholders for the asset request management. Now let's take a look at the incident management. So once they have acquired the assets, if they face any issues with the acquired hardware or the software assets, then on that note, what is going to happen? How are we managing that inside the TechTrack application? Once the asset is raised, once the issue is raised, Then a ticket will be created in the ticketing platform. So how this is happening? We will be providing a form to the employees where they will be raising the issue. Once the issue is raised inside Zoho Creator, then a ticket will be created in a ticketing platform where we are using Zoho Desk. So this communication is happening. Here we have Zoho Creator and that is communicating with Zoho Desk with the help of integration flow. Once a record is submitted in Zoho Creator, then a ticket will be created inside Zoho Desk. Next, how the agents are going to handle the ticket. If the tickets can be handled within the mail thread, then that's good enough. If not, if the agent wants to get on a call with the employee, then on that note, we have integrated Zoho Desk with Zoho Bookings, where with the help of Zoho Bookings, the employee will be able to choose the convenient slot that was provided by the agent. So once the employee chooses the convenient slot, based on the slot and the timing, they will get on a call. Zoho Bookings is a booking platform. We have integrated Zoho Bookings with Zoho Meetings so that we'll be able to book the slot and get a link in order to get on a call. So that may be a video call or maybe an audio call based on the requirement. So when the agent resolves the issue, so once the issue is resolved, then what the agent will do is he will update the status in the Zoho Desk as ticket closed. So once the status of the ticket is being updated as ticket closed, then the same will be reflecting inside the Zoho Creator without making any manual changes. For that, we are writing one more integration flow where we are making the Zoho Desk communicate with Zoho Creator with the help of integration flow. Whenever the ticket status is updated as closed inside Zoho Desk, automatically the status will be updated inside Zoho Creator as well. So this is all about the incident management. Now let's take a look at the stakeholders. So the issue will be raised by the employee and then the tickets will be handled by the asset team. So when I say asset team, they have a group of people who will take care of the tickets. Basically, the incident team within the asset team, a group of people who will take care of the tickets that have been raised from the employee. Now let's take a look at the project management. So we have the employees module, which actually gives us a clear understanding about the available and the employees who've been assigned to the projects. We also have a module for ongoing projects where we'll be able to see all the ongoing projects along with the duration and also the resources needed. So once we find the available employees and also the project, we'll assign the project to the employees. So once the project is being assigned, and if the employees are working on the project and once the project is done, the project status will be marked as completed. Once the project status is marked as completed, the employees will be changed. The employee status will be changed to available. Now let's take a look at the stakeholders. So we have manager who will assign the projects to the employees. Now let's take a look at the features that we have used within this application. So the first one is the integration flow. This is a custom integration where you do not have to write any piece of code in order to communicate between two platforms. So if you are going to use Zoho Creator that has to communicate with Zoho Desk or Zoho People, you do not have to write any piece of code. This purely works on drag and drop concept. The second one is about the users. So users are nothing but the internal organizational users, the employees, managers, or the asset team all belongs to the user category. Next is about the snippets. We have used snippets widely in building or enhancing the look and feel of the dashboards. So this is basically a reusable code snippets where we can add additional functionalities to your dashboard. Then we have used this approval workflows. So approval workflow will basically help you to approve or reject any record that is being submitted inside Zoho Creator. So there will be an asset request, or there will be a software asset request made by the employee. It will be manager's call whether to approve or deny. So for that, we have used the approval workflow. Now let's go into the live demonstration where I'll demonstrate the TechTrack application. So this is the TechTrack application that I've been talking about, and you'll be able to see the dashboard over here. So we'll come back to this dashboard in some time where I'll take you to the other modules that we have. So here we have the employee details. So employee details will basically have all the employee details where we have fetched these details from the Zoho people. We didn't make any manual entry over here. Right from the employee ID to the designation, we have fetched all the details from the Zoho people. Next, we have the hardware inventories module. So inside the hardware inventories, you'll be able to see a list report for all the hardwares that are available. So here you have the name of the assets, the model number, image, along with the status and the asset types. So the status will work based on the available quantity. We also have different asset types. So we have laptops, we also have mobile devices. We have created a Kanban report for the asset types. Next, we also have created a Kanban report for the status of the items. So if the items are available, then they'll be seen under the available status. And similarly for out of stock and few items left. Next, similarly, we have the software inventory where you have all the software details right from expiry in month. We also have the version, the name, the type, etc. And based on the type of the software, we have generated a Kanban report. Next is about the requests. This request shows all the requests, all the hardware requests made by the employee, and also all the software requests made by the employee. So inside the hardware request, you'll be able to see what is the requested date and the issued status, the issued date, and the next request date. Similarly, in the software request, you'll be able to see the the issued date and the issued status. Next, we have the incidents module. Inside the incidents module, you'll be able to see the different requests that they have raised for their issues, and what is the ticket status, whether ticket status is closed or it is open, and what is the issue that they are facing, and what is the description of the issue along with the employee code and the email with the asset name as well. Next, we have the project management module. Inside the project management module, we'll be able to see all the ongoing projects along with the task duration and the resources needed. We also have all project management that showcases the completed projects over here. And then we also have another Kanban report where we have created this Kanban report based on the employee's project status, whether they are available or assigned to any projects. Then I have grouped the references where we have all the hardware asset types and the software asset types. Next comes the approvals tab. So when an employee is raising any request, it goes under the pending task, and once the request got approved or denied, based on that it will go inside the completed task. So these are the different modules that we have inside the TechTrack application. Now heading back to the dashboard. So the dashboard that we are currently viewing is the admin dashboard, where we'll be able to see the overall statistics of the hardware, software inventory, the incidents raised, and the projects. So we have embedded the link inside this. So once we click on the hardware inventory, you'll be able to see the all hardware inventory. Similarly, we have embedded the software, incidents, and the projects. Here we have a count of all the projects, completed projects, total, and the in progress project. Below, you will be able to see the ticket status, the total issues, and the status with open, status with the closed. Next, we have different charts available, where this chart is for the hardwares, and this one is for the softwares based on the asset types. And then we have another chart for the project name and the status. So this is about this dashboard. Similarly, we have dashboards for employee and manager. Now let's go into the employee details module. We'll go into each of these modules into detail, and then we'll try to understand how and why we have brought this module inside this TechTrack application. So here we have all employee details. As I mentioned earlier, we are not adding them manually inside the Zoho Creator. We are fetching it from the Zoho people. Now let me go inside Zoho people. Here, this is the employees are the module that we are using here. This will be under the operations section. So if we are going to add an employee, once I click on add employee, we'll be able to see the different options from where we can add employee. So users with any email can be added, or users from Zoho Mail can be added. Users from Google Workspace or users from Microsoft 365 can be added. For the demonstration purpose, I'm going to choose users with any email ID that can be added. Now, before I start entering the data, I would like to explain the flow. How am I fetching the details that are entered inside Zoho people to the Zoho Creator? For that, let me go to the presentation, and then let me take the flow real quick. So we are going to make the Zoho people communicate with Zoho Creator with the help of integration flow in order to fetch the employee details. So for that, I have written a integration flow. So this is the integration flow. Here, every time when a record is updated in the Zoho people, a record will be created in Zoho Creator. I'll say why it is not a record created in Zoho people and why it is record updated. So this is the flow that we have written. And once you're done in writing your flow, it's just a drag and drop concept. And then once you're done with the flow, all you have to do is switch on the flow and check how it's working. So why it is record updated over here? Let me take you to the Zoho people. Over here, you'll be able to create a record with the employee ID, first name, last name, and the email address. So let me just quickly give the employee ID. And I'm going to give the employee name as Kevin and the last name as Jonathan. And the email address is kevin.j@zilker.com. So once this is created, we will have to add the other details that basically comes under edit user data, and that's why it is record updated and not record created. So let me just quickly add in the other details. Like I'm going to add the department as training, and then I'm going to give the designation as technical trainer and the role as team member. So if you want to add other details based on the requirement, you can go ahead and add the other details. For the demonstration purpose, I'm just clicking on update. So once I click on update and then click on finish, we'll be able to see a new record for this respective employee, which is Kevin Jonathan, and we'll be able to see the department, designation, and the role. Now let me go back to the Zoho Creator. I'll reload this tab. So here we have the new employee. So Kevin Jonathan is right over here along with the other details. So we didn't make any manual entry, but we have just fetched the data from the Zoho people with the help of the Zoho flow. I hope this is pretty much clear. Any questions on this? Please access the question tab and post your questions. Now moving on to the hardware inventory. So inside the hardware inventory, as I showcased earlier, we have all the assets that are available inside the organization. And the status will change based on the available quantity. If the available quantity is lesser than 10, then we'll be able to see the status as few items left. If the available quantity is greater than 10, then the status will be available. And also, if this quantity is exactly equal to 0, then the status will be equal to out of stock. And also I have brought in the conditional formatting, which will be from the report properties, in order to differentiate the different statuses that are available. Now, let me add a quick record inside the hardware inventory where I've opened this form, and I'm going to choose the asset type as mobile device, and I'm going to name the asset as, let's say, Apple iPhone 15 Pro. And then I'm going to give the model number as A2848. Let me choose the image real quick. And then I'm going to give the status as available and the quantity as like 26. So this is the admins. This is basically the asset team's work. So asset team know the status and also the available quantity. So I'm just filling in all these details, and you'll be able to see the new entry that is available over here. And as the quantity is 26, we have the status as available that we have chosen. And every time when there is an outward product, like if the quantity goes down to 10, it will change to few items left automatically. So this is about the inventory. We can view the inventory, like each item in the detailed view as well. Now, let me go into the different reports that we have generated. So the first one is the different asset types. If you see, this is the new one that we have added. Also, when you click on that, you'll be able to see the detailed view. So this is a Kanban report that we have generated based on the different asset types. So based on the status of the items, we have three different status: available, out of stock, and few items left. So based on the different status, we have also generated a Kanban report over here. So this is all about the hardware inventories. Similarly, we have the software inventories, where we have all the softwares that are available and also the different software types. So based on the different software types, we have generated a Kanban report. Now, this request module and incident. So request will be made by the employees and the request will be handled by the manager. Also, the incidents will be raised by the employee or whomsoever is handling that respective asset. Next, we have the project management. Projects will be assigned by the manager to the employees. So this will be taken care of the manager. So what we will do now, I'll showcase you the different users, the different user permissions that I've created. So let me go into the edit mode of the application, and then I'm going inside the settings where we have the user permissions. I have created three different user permissions. One is the asset team. So based on the roles and the permissions, we have given access and we have also restricted few modules. Similarly, we have created for the employees and as well as for the manager. So again, based on the roles and the permissions, they will get access to few data and they will not be able to see few data. Now let me go to the live mode of the application over here. So now I will showcase you how an admin dashboard will look like for the admin, how the employees dashboard will look like for the employees, and also how the manager's dashboard will look like. First, let me take you to the manager's dashboard. So once they log in, based on the login, user's login ID, the name, the employee ID, seating location, and the email address will be captured. If at all the manager wants to edit the personal information, then they can click on the edit option that will take them to the form where they can fill in the remaining details, or if they want to update any details over here. So this is about this panel that you have. So next is we have an HTML snippet. So inside this snippet, you will be able to see the asset type that the manager owns along with the asset name, issued date, and if at all there is any issue with the asset, they can use this report and issue option. Similarly, we have another HTML snippet that showcases the raised issues. So how many issues that the manager have raised. The manager have raised only one issue for the laptop, and the issue faced was the laptop screen issue. The ticket status is closed currently. Towards the right hand side, we have a small panel that says the count of the issues, whether the issues are open or on hold or closed. I'll come back to this quick links in some time. Now let me showcase you what are the different modules that the manager have access to. So manager will be able to see all the employee details, and then we also have a my profile report that basically works based on the logged in user's ID, and if the manager wants to see his personal information, he'll be able to see inside my profile. Next is the manager will also be able to see all the requests for the hardware and also all the requests for the software. Next is the incidents. Again, the manager will be able to see all the incidents raised. So all the issues that are raised for the hardwares and the softwares inside the incidents module. The manager will be able to see what are the current projects. So if he has any new project assigned to his team, then he'll be able to add that project inside. And then all project management. So once he have assigned the project, he'll be able to see the project status over here as in progress. And once the project is completed, he can click on this completed button. Then the project status will be changed. Next is we have a Kanban report based on the employee's project status. So this is about the project management. And if he has any requests, he'll be able to track those requests under the approvals tab inside pending task. And once he have approved or denied the request, he'll be able to see them under the completed task. Now let's go back to the dashboard of the manager, where I'll showcase you how he will be assigning the projects. So here in the quick links, we have embedded the links of the form. So if I click on hardware request, then the hardware request form will get open. Similarly, it goes for the software request, software received, raise an issue. If the manager has any issue with the assets, he can raise. So now I'm going to click on assign projects. So once I click on assign projects, the project management form gets open. Over here, once the project management form is opened, you'll be able to see the start date, which is the current date that got captured, and the project status is currently available. Now let me choose the project. Once I choose the project, you will be able to see the end date that got calculated automatically. So how this end date is calculated? We have the duration inside the project module. So based on the duration that is available on months, we have written a workflow that will automatically calculate the end date. And then we have also fetched the resources required, and we have populated that inside the resources. And the project status is in progress now. So now let's add the resources. So I'm going to add 3 resources over here. So the employee code is 20324, 20323, and 20322. So once I'm done in adding 3 resources, which is the maximum resources, it says an alert that you can choose only 3 resources for this project. So this during this time, the manager will be mindful that the resources available for this project is only 3, and he or she is not going to add more than 3 resources. So once this is done, once we click on submit, what happens is the employees from the available status will be moved to assigned to projects. So let me just click on submit. And once I click on submit, let me just go inside the employee project status. So here you'll be able to see the employee code 20324, 322, and 323 being moved to assigned to projects. And what's the use of moving the employees here? So if the manager is going to, let me just go to the dashboard right now. Yeah, if the manager is going to assign projects to different employees, then when he is choosing the project and when he is opening the employee code, he'll be able to see only the available employees, where the employees who've been assigned to projects will not be available over here. So for this as well, we have written a workflow in order to pick the employees who are whose status are only available over here. So now we have, let me close this. Yeah. So now we have the employees who've been assigned to projects. So let me open all project management. So here this is the new project that we have created, that we have added, and the start date, end date is also given. Once the project is completed and the manager have received the status as completed, if he clicks on this completed button, then what happens is the project status will be changed as completed, and also the employees who are inside assigned to projects will be changed to available status. So we have added 3 employees here. Let me click on completed. Here the project status is completed right now. Button is also disabled. Let me go in here and I'll reload this tab. So now you will be able to see the employees at whomsoever has been assigned to the projects have been changed to available status. So this is about the project management module, and these are the automations that we have brought inside the project management. Now, let me take you to the employee dashboard so that we'll be able to see how an employee can raise a request, how are we managing the incidents. So let me just take you to the employee dashboard. So this is the employee dashboard where based on the login ID, the employee's ID, seating location, email address is being captured over here. And now if the employee wishes to edit the personal information, can click on edit where they can edit the personal information and get them updated. Now let me just go back here. So here we have the snippet, which is the HTML snippet. In this, it is very similar to the manager's dashboard where we have collated the asset that the employee owns. So if the employee has any issue with the asset, he can click on this report an issue. So with the help of that, we'll be able to raise an issue. Next, we have another HTML snippet that says about the different issues that he have raised earlier. So what are the ticket status, whether ticket status is closed or whether the ticket status is open. Towards the right hand side, we have a panel that says the count of the ticket status. So whether it is open or hold or closed. We'll come back to this quick links in some time. Let's see what are the other modules that the employee has access to. So the employee will be able to see the employee details, which is basically the personal details. Based on the login ID, we have filtered only the personal details of that respective employee, not the other employees. Now heading back to the dashboard, now let's see how are we going to do an hardware request from the employee dashboard. So here we have the hardware request where I'm just clicking on the hardware request. These are the quick links where we have embedded the link of the forms inside these quick links. So now I have clicked on the hardware request and I've got the hardware request form. So in this, let me just choose the employee code. Once we choose the employee code, you'll be able to see the employee name and the email address have been auto-populated. And now we are requesting for the asset, right? So this employee here, if I'm just going to choose the laptop, what happens is this says that you are raising the request within 2 years. Kindly raise the request after 23rd October 2026. So in this organization, once you acquire an asset, then the utilization has a time period of 2 years. So if you're trying to raise a request within 2 years, then it will not allow you to raise the request. So once I click on OK, now I'm going to choose the asset type as mobile devices. So once I choose mobile devices, I'm going to choose the asset name where I'm going to choose the asset name as Apple iPhone 15 Plus. So once I choose the asset name, the request date is automatically calculated from the current date. So once these informations are done, you can click on submit. So once the employee raises the request, it's the manager's decision whether to approve or deny. So here inside the approvals tab, the employee will be able to see the asset, the request that he have raised for the asset. Now let's go into the manager's dashboard and see how the manager can work on this approval. So here we are in the manager's dashboard. Let me just reload the dashboard here. And the manager got the notification as well. So where he or she has an approval action that is pending. Let me just go into the approvals, into the pending task. So this is a hardware request from this respective email ID, and the employee code, employee name, email ID is also right over here. Now, once we click on review, the manager can approve or reject the request. So now if I click on approve, then it is just asking for a message. So I'm just writing your asset request has been approved. Please collect it from asset team. So now once I click on approved, this pending task is being moved to the completed task. So once this is moved, as I mentioned earlier, that we are going to notify the employee. So let's see how the employee has been notified in the email. Let me just reload it here. So here you will be able to see the approval request. So it says your asset request has been approved, and it also says please collect your asset. So this is how the employee will be notified over mail once the request has been approved or rejected. Now let me just go in here. So it's the manager's call to approve or deny the request. The manager has approved the request. Next is the asset team's part, who has to issue the asset to the employee. Now let's go to the admin dashboard to see how the asset team is going to issue the request. So let me go into the requests where the all hardware request. So if you see, this is the employee ID and this is the employee email who have raised the request. So this is the requested date, which is the current date. And here the asset team will be able to see a issue status button. So once they click on the issue status button, the issue status will be changing to issued, and the issued date will capture the current date, and the next request date is automatically calculated because we have written a workflow for that, where we can raise the next request only after 2 years. Now I would like to show the inventory as well in this case, how the number is going down. So let me just open the hardware inventory. So here we have the employee has raised the request for Apple iPhone 15 Plus. So let me go in here. So it is Apple iPhone 15 Plus. The available quantity is 17. So now once it is issued, the available quantity has to go down to 16. So let me just go back in here and I'm going to click on issue status, where the issued status is changed to issued, and the issued date, the next request date is also right over here. Let me go into the inventory and let me reload it here. So now if you see the Apple iPhone 15 Plus, the quantity has gone down to 16. If the quantity goes down to 10, then the status will automatically changes to few items left. Or if the quantity is exactly equals to 0, then the status will goes to out of stock. So this is how the inventory has been managed, and this is how the asset life cycle management, which is basically we have targeted how the asset request has been raised and how the utilization is happening. Now let me go to the employee dashboard. The employee has raised the asset. So let me also refresh, because currently in the my assets we can see only the laptops. Let me just reload, because the issued status has been changed, right? So here the asset type, the new asset type has been added, which is the mobile devices, and the asset name is the Apple iPhone 15 Plus, the issued date, and if at all the employee has any issue, he can click on report an issue. So this is about the asset request management. Now let's move on to the incident management. every time whenever a record is created, like every time when an employee is submitting a record for the issue, then a ticket will be created in the ticketing platform. So let's see how that's happening. If we have an issue, so if the employee is having an issue with a laptop, I'm going to click on report an issue. So here you'll be able to see the form in a pop-up, and once we choose the employee code, the employee name, employee's email will be captured, like will be auto populated over here, and the asset type will showcases only the asset type that the employee owns. So the employee owns both mobile devices and the laptop, so we'll be able to see both. Now once I choose laptop, this shows only the laptop that this respective employee has. So this respective employee has only one laptop, so I'm just choosing that. And here I'm going to fill in the issue phase. So I'm just going to write speaker issue, and then I'm going to write speaker is not working. Please assist on this. And the ticket status will be open. So before I submit this, let me take you to the presentation where I'll showcase the flow. So let me quickly get that respective slide. So when the issue is raised inside the Zoho Creator, a ticket will be created inside the ticketing platform, which is the Zoho Desk. So here, the Zoho Creator will be communicating with Zoho Desk with the help of the integration flow, and a ticket will be created inside Zoho Desk. Let's see how this is working. So here we are inside the flow. So here, every time when a record is created in Zoho Creator, a contact will be created in Zoho Desk. With the help of this contact, a ticket will be created in Zoho Desk. And also we are we are getting the ticket ID and updating that ticket ID inside the Zoho Creator. So this is the flow where we are not writing any piece of code for this. This works on the drag and drop concept, where every time when a record is created inside the Zoho Creator, which means whenever you're submitting the issue request form, a contact will be created inside Zoho Desk and a ticket will be created inside the Zoho Desk. Post that, we'll update the ticket ID inside Zoho Create. So now once you're done in building your integration flow, switch on your flow and get them checked. So now let me just go back to the dashboard for the employees, and I'm going to click on, so let me also choose the date, which is like today's date, and then I'm going to click on submit. So once I click on submit, let me just reload it here. So once I click on submit, this is the new this is the new issue that we have raised, which is a speaker issue, and the ticket status is currently open. If you see, the count of the ticket status is also has been increased, where this has increased to 2. So now let me just go to the dashboard here. This is the ticketing platform, right? So over here, if you see, this says the speaker issue that we have raised right now, ticket has been created inside Zoho Desk. So this shows the email, from which email we got the ticket, and then the message that says speaker is not working, please assist on this. So now the ticket is created. What the agent will do, the agent will pick the ticket, and if it is a scenario that the agent wants to get on a call with the employee in order to resolve this issue, so on that case, what the agent will do is, let me showcase. Let me draft a quick mail saying that, hi, please book a slot using the below link based on your availability. In order to resolve the issue. So how are we going to embed the link over here? Here we have the Zoho bookings. So let me first take you to the presentation to understand the flow one more time, and then we'll head back to the Zoho desk. So now, once a ticket is created, if the agent wants to get on a call with the employee, then on that note, we are going to use the Zoho bookings. Let's see how to do that. Here we have the Zoho Bookings extension. And once you click on the Zoho Bookings extension, you'll be able to see the different services that are available inside the Zoho Bookings. Now here I have created a service called Get on a Call. And once you click on this link, you'll be able to see book an appointment gets automatically added over here, right? So here, as I mentioned, that Zoho Bookings is a booking platform. In order to get on a call, either a video or an audio call, then we need a meeting platform. So for that, the Zoho Bookings has been already integrated with Zoho Meetings. Now let me just send this email to the employee, and we will see how the employee will be able to view this. Just going to complete this mail saying regards, team incident, and then I'm going to click on send. So once I send, the employee will be receiving this email. So let me just go to the employee's inbox, and I'll go back in here. And now I got, it says like, please choose your convenience slot using the link below in order to get on a call to resolve this issue. So here, let me just click on book an appointment. Once I click on book an appointment, I'll be able to see the date and time. So here, for November 8, what are the time slots that are available? So these are the time slots the agents are available. So if I choose any time slot, then all I have to do is fill in the contact number to complete the booking. So once I click on schedule appointment, I'll be able to see the meeting link that has been generated. So let me showcase you. Yeah, this is the meeting link that will be generated, and the employee can add it to their calendar, and based on the time slot, they can get on a call by using this meeting link. So this is how the employee will be receiving the mail, and with the help of Zoho bookings, the agent will be getting on a call with the employee in order to resolve the issue. Now let me just head back to the presentation here. So once the issue is resolved over call, what happens now? The ticket will be closed inside the Zoho desk. Let me showcase you that. So here, once the issue is resolved, what happens is the agent will click on close ticket. And when the ticket is closed over here, also the status inside the incident. So this is the record that we have been raised, right? That we have raised. The ticket status is currently open. So when the agent is clicking on close ticket, then what happens is the ticket status should be closed. So let's see how this is happening. But before that, I would like to add a pointer over here that how the Zoho bookings has been added as an extension. All we have to do is go into the settings of the Zoho desk, and under integrations, we have marketplace. Inside the marketplace, we basically have the extensions that are available. So in this, we have all the extensions. Here we have the Zoho bookings for Zoho desk. I have installed the extension, and once you are done installing the extension, then you'll be able to see that inside your the Zoho desk dashboard. So this is how I have used the Zoho bookings inside the Zoho desk. Now, heading back to the ticket status. Once the agent clicks on close ticket, then the status over here, which is currently open, should be changed to closed. So how this is going to happen? Let me take you to the presentation. We are again going to use integration flow in order to make the Zoho desk communicate with the Zoho Creator. So when the issue is resolved, the ticket will be closed and the same will be updated inside the Zoho Creator. So for that, we have another flow where we have the ticket ID from the previous flow. So the previous flow has the ticket ID. With the help of the ticket ID, we are going to complete this flow. So ticket status has been updated. Once the ticket status is updated in Zoho Desk, then we will fetch the record. With the help of the fetched record, we will update the record in the Zoho Creator. We'll fetch the record in Zoho Creator, and then we are going to update the record inside the Zoho Creator, where the status will be updated as closed. So once you're done in uh, writing your integration flow, you can just turn on your flow and get them checked. Now let me just go in here. Once the agent clicks on close ticket, then what happens? Here, let me just go and then let me reload the tab over here. So the ticket status. So this is what the issue that we have raised, which is a speaker issue, and the speaker is not working. Please assist on this. So the ticket status is closed without any manual changes. We are working on the flow. Once it is updated in Zoho Desk, the same will be getting updated in the Zoho Creator. So this is about the TechTrack application, and let me just go to the dashboard of the employee and let me reload it so that the ticket status will be closed over here as well, and the count of the closed has got increased to 4. So this is about the TechTrack application, and these are the automations that we have brought inside the TechTrack application. Now let me just head back to the presentation. Now let's take a look at the extended use cases for the TechTrack application. If we are going to use the TechTrack application as an internal tool, we can concentrate on the asset management, where we'll completely concentrate on the inventory management, procurement, life cycle of the assets, and also on the compliance. Next, how can we use the TechTrack as an extended Zoho or the third-party application? So we have Zoho Click, where that will help us to work on the internal collaborations. And here we have used Zoho People in order to fetch the details for the employees. Similarly, we can use Zoho Inventory in order to manage your assets. We have Zoho Work Drive that will help you to store the employee related documents. So this is about the application, the TechTrack application, and the features and also the extended use cases. Now let's go to the key pointers. We have used the approval workflow that whenever a request is raised by the employee, then it will be the manager's call to decide. So for that, we have written an approval workflow for the approval and the denial. Then we have also used the users. We have created the roles and the permissions for the users. So based on the roles and the permissions, we have given access, and we have also restricted few modules. Then we have used the snippets, where we have used HTML and XML snippets to build customized dashboards for both employees as well as to the managers. We also had a dashboard for the admin as well. This will help us to enhance the look and feel of your dashboard. Next, we have used the integration flow widely, where we have integrated our application with Zoho People, also with Zoho Desk, Zoho Bookings, and Zoho Meetings as well. So this is all about the today's session. We have come to the end of the session. Now to talk about the upcoming free webinars that we have. So we have the Creator Tech Connect series that's happening the next week, which is on November 14. So Creator Tech Connect series is a month-on-month free webinar that we conduct, where we will concentrate on the technical nuances that we have in the Creator platform. On that note, we are having Zoho directory stores and device authentication using Zoho directory in Zoho Creator. So if you're interested in knowing about the technical features that we have in the Zoho Creator, you can scan the QR code and register yourself. Or if you find any of your friends or colleagues are interested in knowing about the technical sessions that are happening in Zoho Creator, get it shared with them, where the registration links for the same will be shared in the chat by the co-trainer. Next, we have the Learning Table series. For this month, we have worked on the technology industry. On that note, for the next month, for the month of December, we are working on Creator for Finance. So if any of your friends are interested in to learn about the different industries on the top of Creator, then get it shared with them, where you will have the registration link for the same provided by a co-trainer in the chat. So I'll keep this slide for a few seconds where you can scan the QR code. Thank you for actively participating in chats as well as in the questions. I hope all of your questions have been answered. So we have come to the end of the session. Thank you so much for all your time and patience. If you have any further questions or if you have any further queries, please write to training@zohocreator.com. Once again, I thank you all for your time and patience. Thank you.